like, it's still gonna be busted. If it's 4.5 or 5 DPT, it's still gonna be busted. It needs to be 4 DPT in order to be like I think less oppressive overall. What's up, everyone? We just got some exciting news about the second half of season 6 of Go Battle League. The news includes the schedule for the second half of season 6, addition of a new Pokemon, and moveset updates, buffs, nerfs to existing moves, and also moveset additions. We'll go over all the changes today. I can already tell you there's gonna be some big meta shake-up, so stay tuned for my analysis. Make sure you're ready for when it launches on January 11th. First off, the schedule. Starting at January 11th, we'll first have 2 weeks of Great League, then 2 weeks of Ultra League and Ultra League Premier, then 1 week of Master League, Premier Masters, Master League Classic, and a to-be-announced special cup. This cup will run from February 8th till February 15th, so I'm speculating that we'll see a Valentine's Cup maybe, because Valentine's Day is of course on the 14th. That would make sense to me, but we really don't know. It could be something entirely different. We'll see. I'm excited to see what it is. I always enjoy the themed cups, so I'm excited to see where we're getting more. Then a week after that, we'll get all 3 leagues, including Ultra League Premier Cup. And then after that, we'll have 1 week of Kento Cup. Kento Cup is coming back. I'm very glad to see that, because Kento Cup was one of my favorite, or it was my favorite themed cup we've seen so far. Excited to see it come back. There's one very interesting thing though. During this period, your rating will be unaffected. That's strange. So that means that if I tank to like 2000 MMR, or even lower, before Kento Cup, I will stay at 2000 MMR, the whole Kento Cup. It's kind of weird. Is that how it works? I'm not sure yet. I guess we're gonna see, but I think it's kind of strange. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but if that's the case, that we can just tank all the way down and then stay there, easy matches, that's kind of weird, isn't it? But I guess we'll see. Kento Cup is fun either way. Secondly, Frillish. We'll start getting Frillish from Go Battle League rewards starting January 11th. Frillish evolves into Jellicent, which is a Pokemon we've been waiting for a really long time. It has a really good stat spread in Great League. It has really good moves. It's gonna be amazing. These stats are comparable to like a G-Fisk, just a little bit lower stat product than G-Fisk, but they're very comparable. Sting is absolute tank. It has really good moves as well. Bubble and Hex as fast moves, and then a Bubble Beam, Ice Beam, and Shadow Ball as charge moves. It is kind of a comparable matchups to Azumarill, in that it can beat the fighters. Steels has play against the fighters. The only thing that Jellicent loses to that Azumarill beats are the darks, of course, because Jellicent picks up a weakness because of the ghost typing, but it has better play versus the poison types because ghost resists the poison moves. As you can see here, it beats Pokemon like Deoxys, Toxicroak, Registeel, Altaria, beats Azumarill, Hypno, Lapras, which Azumarill lost to, beats Marowak. It has some really good plays in the meta. Also beats Tropius, which is very big as a water type. So yeah, this thing is gonna be a monster, not only in Great League, also in Ultra League. Look at these stats. This is like Lapras level bulk. I'm pretty sure this is like Lapras level bulk. Yes, it's very comparable to Lapras. It has to be level 50 though, so it's gonna be a while until we see this in the Battle League. But it is a monster. Beats all the fighters, of course. Beats Charizard, beats Registeel, beats Articuno, beats the Charmers, Dragonite, Lapras, Empoleon, Gallade. This thing is a monster. This was the regular Ultra League. Let's take a look at the Premier Cup meta. Wow, look at how close it gets to beating Ampharos. That's crazy. It's like a very close matchup. But yeah, again, the fighters, of course. Swampert. This thing is gonna be a monster in both leagues, so definitely go grind, go Battle League just for this thing. That's worth it. Ask your friends if they want to keep him. Go trade him for good IVs. This thing is an absolute beast. Now, what we've all been waiting for, the moveset updates. We're gonna go all over all of these one by one. look at the biggest winners, the biggest losers. We don't know the stats of the buff that Nerf moves yet, so this is all speculation, but at least we can kind of start preparing for the second half of Season 6 a little bit. Let's just start with the first one, Ember. We'll get an attack buff, which is awesome. I think fire moves, fire types in general are very underrepresented in Go Battle League in general. The only ones we really see are Marowak in Great League, and in Ultra League we see Charizard, and that's basically it. Oh, and Master League Ho-Oh, of course. That's all thanks to the Incinerate buff, which got a buff last moveset update, and now they're buffing Ember to deal more damage. Ember, currently a 6 damage, 6 energy 2-turn move, putting it at 3 damage per turn and 3 energy per turn. This makes it strictly worse than Fire Spin, because Fire Spin has the same damage output but higher energy. Personally, I'm expecting them to improve the damage by 1, giving it a 3.5 DPT and a 3 EPT. That would put it right in the middle of the damage output of Fire Spin and Fire Fang, and still have decent energy per turn, but who knows, we might see it become a 4 damage per turn move as well, which would make it like a 2-turn Dragon Breath clone. That would be pretty good. I think as for Pokemon that improved because of this, I mean, a lot of these fire types like Charizard, Typhlosion, Ninetales already see play either in Sylph tournaments or in Go Battle League, but they also have Ember. If Ember becomes like a really good move, it might give more options to this Pokemon, being able to go either the energy generating route with Fire Spin or a Fire Spin or Incinerate, or the damage output route with Ember, which is interesting. Then we also have Sunny Castform, which I think is the biggest winner because its only fast move is Ember and this Tackle, but Tackle is horrible either way. So Castform will definitely improve. I think it's already pretty good. It's a very bulky fire type. Giving it an Ember buff will definitely improve its viability. Besides that, maybe we'll see more play with Magcargo. It's already had some play in some Sylph tournaments, so with an Ember buff we might see it have even more moves there. Alright, Karate Chop. Karate Chop is getting a buff to his energy gain, which was much needed because Karate Chop is pretty much the same as Counter, but just with less damage. So strictly worse. Giving it an improve in energy generation is much needed. But they'd have to improve it significantly in order to make it better than Counter, I feel like. If they only improve it by 1 energy, so 5 damage, 8 energy for Karate Chop, it's a really good move. Like, it will be an amazing move. It will be a Powder Snow clone even. We all know Powder Snow is a really good move. It's also 5 damage, 8 energy, but at 5 damage, 8 energy, I feel like Counter might still be better than Karate Chop, just because the damage difference is so big and it's only 1 energy per move difference, but it does make some difference. So they might make it a 9 energy move, which would make this move really, really strong, like stronger than any move we've seen. So we might see it. We'll have to wait. You know, it won't make that much of a difference either way. I think the Pokemon that currently get Karate Chop, there aren't many. It's basically Machamp and Primeape as fighting types that already have Counter, and aside from that, Karate Chop is a legacy move. I think for Primeape it might be nice though to have a higher energy generating move, because it will, like, getting to those close combats even faster is pretty huge. Besides that, one interesting thing for both Great League, Ultra League, Master League might be Magmortar. Magmortar with Karate Chop. If Karate Chop becomes like a very quick energy generating move, like a 9 energy move, 4.5 EPT, then like it might have some play. It might have some play, but we'll have to see. It really depends on how big the buff is. Next up, Bubble, also known as Azumarill Nerf. Of course, Bubble will do less damage. Bubble currently a 2.66 DPT and 3.66 EPT move, makes it very high in energy generation. Damage was already not that high, but they're lowering the damage even more. It's currently 8 damage per move, and I think if they put it at 7 damage per move, that would be reasonable. If they put it at 6 damage per move, which I think is the lowest they'd go, Azumarill would still be usable, but all the other bubble mons would be very hard to play, I think. Though if they put it at 7, Azumarill will still be good. And all the other bubble mons will be less good, of course, but still playable, I feel like. So I think they're gonna go with 7 damage per move, but it could be 6. The Pokemon that are affected are, of course, Azumarill. That's the main target. They were going for. Azumarill has reigned on top of Great League forever, since PvP came out, basically. So I think this nerf is deserved. Well, personally, I don't think Azumarill was that big of an issue. Besides being very prominent, being very flexible, I don't think it was hard to take down. But you know, it is nice to see some more variety, I guess. So this nerf will definitely help with that, at least in the early stages. We'll see how the meta turns out later. Other targets, other victims of this nerf are Mantine. I think Mantine is a very big victim because Mantine did rely on the bubble damage just a bit. Mantine has very weak charge moves in Bubble Beam and Ice Beam, so it did rely on bubbling down a lot of the time. Azumarill is a different story. Azumarill relied mostly on his charge moves, so I don't think Azumarill will be effective that much. It will be worse for sure, but the lowered double damage won't affect it as much as it will affect Mantine. Then of course we got a Ludicolo, the biggest victim. Very unfortunate. My favorite Pokemon. We got Legend with this season, which I was very proud of. And then this feels kind of bad, but you know, Ludicolo will always be a legend in my book, so it's fine. And you know, depending on the size of the nerf, if it's 8 to 7 damage nerf, just 1 damage difference, I don't think it will be that bad because Ludicolo relied on his charge moves anyway. So we'll see. It will still be good. It will still be alright, I think. It just depends on the size of the nerf. Besides that, you know, we got some niche Pokemon like Prinplup. I've seen some play in some Sylph tournaments. Greninja could be good, but man, now with the bubble nerf, maybe not so much. Hopefully it gets, I'm hoping Greninja gets another move in the future. Something like Snarl would do it a lot of good. Would really need that to be viable. And I think we all like Greninja, right? Greninja has an awesome design. It would be cool if it got another fast move to use in the Battle League. Yeah, so that's basically it for Bubble. Besides Azumarill, Mantine, it really doesn't change that much. There weren't that many Bubble users around, but this nerf will definitely change up the Great League meta a bunch. All right, Razor Leaf is getting a nerf to its damage. I think that's huge. You know, Shadow Razor Leafers especially have been so oppressive, especially in the Great League. I think we're all kind of sick of playing against them. You all know they just chew through your counters. I think the biggest issue with Shadow Razor Leafers was always a lot of the glossier mons like Sableye, Frostlass, which isn't even that glossy, but also a Haunter, which resists Razor Leaf, couldn't get to 2 charge moves versus a Shadow Razor Leafer, which is just very, very bad. That's what made the Grass Hole strat so strong, because most Pokemon couldn't even get to 2 charge moves against a Shadow Razor Leafer, which meant that if they just saved 1 shield, they usually won the game. Right? So I think a damage nerf is much needed, but will it be enough? We'll see. It depends on the size of the nerf. You know, Razor Leaf is currently the highest DPT move in the game. 5.5 DPT, just towering over all the other moves. With 2 EPT, I mean, that's very low, but with like in the combination with like Leaf Blade in Shadow Vic, it's just deadly. It's gonna need a pretty big nerf in order to changed much. You know, as I said, I think the biggest problem is something like Frostlass wasn't able to get to 2 avalanches. As you can see, it's not even close. He needs like 2 or 3 more avalanches. Oh, no, he needs two more powder snows to get to the avalanche. How much does Razor Leaf need to get nerfed in order for Frostlass to get there? We can't really change the move stats in PvP Poke, but what we can do is I can give Shadow Victreebel a debuff. I'll give it -1 attack debuff. That means it's currently at 80% of its attack stat, which basically means we're using a Razor Leaf with 4.4 DPT instead of 5.5, and still Frostlass doesn't reach the Avalanche. So that means that if we want like Frostlass to reach the second Avalanche versus a Shadow Vic, Razor Leaf would need to be a 4 DPT fast move, which is just like a crazy nerf. That's a crazy nerf. I don't expect that. That also means, I think even with 4.4 DPT on Razor Leaf, Sableye doesn't reach the second move. Yeah, it still doesn't reach the second move. Another thing with this, I think Muck. I think another one was Muck. Like Muck against Shadow Victreebel in the 2 shield loses. Like it resists Razor Leaf, but it loses to Shadow Vic in the 2 shield, which I think is just dumb. I think in order for it to be a good nerf, Muck needs to be able to beat Shadow Vic in the 2 shield, because this is just insane. But even with a minus attack debuff, -1 attack debuff, it's so close. Look at this. 1 freaking HP. 1 freaking HP for the win. It's just crazy. If like, it's still gonna be busted. If it's 4.5 or 5 DPT, it's still gonna be busted. It needs to be 4 DPT in order to be like, I think less oppressive overall. Though I think any nerf is appreciated, but we'll see. I wouldn't put on your party hats just yet. Crabhammer will get buffed. It will do more damage. Crabhammer currently kind of a middle of the pack, a water move with 1.5 DPE. It's not bad, but it's not even close to moves like Hydro Pump or Hydro Cannon, of course. So attack buff is appreciated. There are currently only 2 mons that get it, Crawdon and Kingler. Kingler also gets a bubble nerf, of course, but I think maybe a Kingler with a Mudshot Crabhammer could have play, depending on how the size of the Crabhammer buff. I think it's gonna need a big buff in order for Crawdon and Kingler to shine, but we'll see. Skytex getting a nerf. It will deal a little bit less damage. Currently, it's a very good move. 1.77 DPE for a 45 energy move is very good. It's the same as Rock Slide actually, which is also a very strong move, of course. This was a very unexpected nerf. I don't think it was really necessary. I mean, Altaria and Skarmory will be a bit less powerful now in the Great League and also in the Ultra League. Your Skarmory had a lot of play in Ultra League as well, but now its main damage output in Skytech is getting a nerf, so it will be a bit less strong. Depends on the size of the nerf though. I'm not expecting them to nerf it that much. Maybe bring it down to 75 damage instead of 80, because you know it hurts a lot of different Pokemon. You know, Noctowl, the biggest victim. It pretty much its only move is Sky Attack. You know, it has Psychic, but you usually don't use Psychic, so this will really hurt Noctowl, which doesn't really matter in Open Go Battle League, but in some Team Cups and Sylph Cups, Noctowl has been very prominent, so yeah, that's very unfortunate for Noctowl. Also Lugia, Honchkrow, which we haven't seen much of in Go Battle League, but it has had play in Sylph. Are hurt by this nerf. Then in Ultra League, it's the same deal, of course. Skarmory, Altaria, Honchkrow will see less play, and I don't think there's. Oh yeah, Master League, of course, we have Lugia that did recently get Aeroblast, but now gets nerfed with the Sky Attack. Yeah, it depends on the size of the nerf. I think if they drop it from 80 to 75, it won't be that big of a deal. But yeah, it's still kind of strange nerf in my opinion, but it will mix up the meta once again, which is kind of nice. Rock Slide, very strong move, will get a attack debuff. Currently it's the same as Sky Attack, 1.77 DPE for a 45 energy move, of course, very strong. I mean, it's basically a Stunfisk nerf, of course. I think that's what gets hurt. Well, probably. I think it's a Stunfisk nerf, but Stunfisk will probably get hurt the least. Unfortunately, you know, Rock Slide is a coverage move on a lot of Pokemon. You know, we have Machamp, we have Deoxys, we have Tangrowth, Melmetal, well, Propass. Like, they all rely on Rock Slide as coverage. And I think it's pretty sad that we're gonna see that go. But if the nerf isn't that big, it might not be that bad. I think was it necessary? I don't think it was really necessary. I don't think, you know, Stunfisk was strong. Stunfisk was very strong, but I don't think Rock Slide was necessarily the issue. But you know, with Azumarill getting nerfed, one of Stunfisk's biggest counters, basically, I think Stunfisk did deserve a little nerf as well, so that is welcome. But it's just unfortunate to see all these other mons get nerfed as well, basically. In Ultra League, it's pretty much the same story. You have Machamp, Melmetal getting the nerf. Also, Crystal might be a bit less viable now, and I think the biggest victim here is Tangrowth. Tangrowth being a very good safe swap in the Premier Cup. Of course, like really gets hurt by this. Depending on the size of the nerf, might not even be viable anymore. I think one of Tangrowth's biggest strengths was beating Charizard, and the Rock Slide on Charizard currently does 102% damage. Like if they give it like a 10 damage nerf, that means that Rock Slide plus Fire Whips won't even KO anymore, which is just very sad. But if it's only like a 5 damage nerf, it doesn't change much for Tangrowth, so that will be fine, I think. And then we also have a Master League, of course, where the biggest victim is a Melmetal. What is it? Is it worth running Thunderbolt now? Maybe? Probably not. But we'll see. It really depends on the size of the nerf, as always. Alright, last nerf, Shadowbone. We'll get a nerf to his damage. I think that's kind of needed. You know, Shadowbone, exclusive of Marowak, and pretty much objectively better than Shadow Ball in most situations. It has very similar DPE to Shadow Ball for 10 energy less, which just makes it a better move like 99% of the time. Plus the 20% attack debuff just made it so strong. It's basically like it's the same as Sky Attack and Rock Slide stats wise with a debuff, so it kind of deserved a nerf, you know. Marowak was good enough with just Shadow Ball as its primary ghost move. Didn't really need the bone. But, you know, it's kind of sad for everyone that invests in Elite TM in this thing. So, yeah, F's in chat for you. I'm sorry. But, you know, it was a strong move. So I think it deserves a nerf. Let's just hope it's not too big. Hopefully it doesn't get nerfed into the ground. I don't think it will. I think it will be maximum like a 10 damage nerf, putting it at 70 damage for 45 energy, which is still really good, but more likely it's like a 75 damage move, which still makes it an amazing move for sure. Next up, the moveset additions. First, Fire type Weather Ball on Vulpix and Ninetales. This one's kind of a weird one. I think, especially for Ninetales, do you really want Weather Ball? You know, Ninetales already has Overheat, which is one of the strongest moves in the game. You know, the strongest move in the game, sorted by DPE, is V-Create, but that's exclusive to Victini. And besides that, it's Overheat and Brave Bird. You know, you get the attack debuff, of course, but you can play around that. But it's like an amazing move. I don't think it's worth, in most cases, to drop Overheat. And even if you sim Ninetales versus the Great League meta, you get a 47.9 win rate against the meta with a Weather Ball. But if you go Overheat, you get a 56.3% win rate. So I don't think it's a strict improvement. It might have a bit more play in some certain metas. We'll see. It is nice that we're getting this addition, though. Now, Vulpix, though. Vulpix in Little Cup might have more play with Weather Ball. Like right now, it has Ember, which will get a buff. It has Flame Charge, and then it has Body Slam. Maybe if you replace Flame Charge with Weather Ball, have a 35 energy fire move, it will beat Bronzor, a bit more reliable. But yeah, I think barely anyone really liked Little Cup, so maybe it won't change much for most people. But next time Little Cup is around, maybe try Vulpix with Weather Ball. Now, it's a different story for the Ice type Weather Ball. It's a very welcome addition to Alola Ninetales. Alola Ninetales currently has Charm, Powder Snow as fast moves, Ice Beam, Blizzard, Dazzling Gleam, and Psyshock as charge moves, and having a very quick Weather Ball on there. Like, Weather Ball is a 35 energy move at 1.71 DPE, which is really strong. Will make Alola Ninetales a real contender in Open Great League. I think the Charm variant is very strong. Personally, I'm not really a big fan of Charm, so I don't really like that Alola Ninetales is getting more play because of Weather Ball, but the Charm variant is strong. But I think the Powder Snow variant might be even stronger. It has, well, with this moveset, it only has a 54.2% win rate, which is still really good. I mean, this is against the meta. 54.2% win rate against the meta is really strong. Like, it beats all the grass types, of course. It beats Altaria, it beats the dragons, it beats Stunfisk, beats Wishcash. Really good against the fighters. Even if you go, I think I saw if you go with Blizzard. Yeah, if you go with Blizzard, this is very bait dependent, but if you go with Weatherable Ice and Blizzard, you have a 70% win rate, which is crazy. Like, what does it even gain? I think it gains Sableye then and Umbreon. Yeah, because of the... Whoa, that's... Yeah, because of fairy typing, it's also good against the dark types, of course. Actually gets close to beating Stunfisk then. So this is a very bait dependent moveset probably, and like very icy. Very, like, having only one type as your moves is it's not always the best, but something worth considering. Definitely a good addition to a lot of Ninetales. Alright, another Weatherball. Weatherball Water gets added to Polytote. Polytote already had access to Surf, Blizzard, Earthquake, Hydro Pump, and Weatherball Water is just a strict upgrade to Surf in Polytote's moveset. With Surf, with Weatherball Water, it actually has very nice matchups versus Great League. You know, it beats Marowak, it beats Azumarill, beats Swampert. It will be basically a new Mudboy, but it's very bait dependent. You could also consider going Blizzard. You know, Earthquake is a legacy and it might not be worth elite TMing. I think Blizzard is still really good. You know, I think you drop a bit. No, you actually gain win rate. All right, I thought we dropped. We actually gain win rate. You know, you beat Altaria. I think that's bait dependent, but it's kind of similar to the Wishcatch matchup, I guess. If you go straight Blizzard, you don't win here. But with like 3 Mudshots advantage, you can get it. So it might be a good safe swap, especially with the Razor Leaf nerf. You don't really have to worry about something mowing you down before you can get to a Blizzard. So you'll probably reach a Blizzard before you get Razor Leaf down. And even against something like Venusaur, if you have like a 2, I think you need a 3. Oh no, you need like 4. Yeah, you need 4 Mudshot advantage to beat a Venusaur there. But if you get that, I think you can even bait with the Weather Ball and to get... yes, that's crazy. How many Mudshots do you need in order to win the ones with baiting? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. If you get 1 Mudshot, if you bait, you can win the 2-shoot versus Venusaur. That's pretty crazy. Look at this. 1 Mudshot. And then you get there like 1 Vine Whip before you get to the Frenzy Plant. Alright, that's pretty insane. Might be a good safe swap in the future. It's not only good in Great League, it's also good in Ultra League. Let's sim it against that. We go to Ultra League. And then sim it against the Ultra League Premier Cup meta. You'll need a level 50 though. It's just a little bit more bulky. Wins like 42% of the meta, which is pretty damn good. Of course, beats Charizard, Muk, Drifblim, the Charmers, which is pretty amazing. Also beats Swampert. I think this is with a Blizzard moveset, yeah. But even without Blizzard, it beats Empoleon, which is pretty awesome. I don't think it, without the Earthquake, I mean, I don't think you really need Earthquake in Ultra League. You know what's also pretty cool? You know, the Dragonite matchup is bait dependent, but with 1, like look, if I get rid of the Weather Ball, you lose the 1s, but with 1 Mudshot advantage, you get there. You get the 2 Blizzards before you get killed by the Dragonite, which is huge. Also, versus Venusaur, if you have 1 Mudshot advantage, you get to the Blizzard. You barely don't KO with Blizzard because it's non-stab, and in Ultra League everything is more bulky, but still, Polytote might be a good safe swap in Ultra League as well. So definitely prepare for Polytote. Ice Punch on Primeape. I don't think there's much to say about this. It's very good coverage for the Flyers. It doesn't really gain him any matchup specifically, but it is nice coverage. But it does make him very similar to Hitmonchan. I think it really depends on the Karate Chop buff, how big that's gonna be, to see how viable this will be. Will it be better than Hitmonchan? We'll see. Claydol getting a double buff. Ice Beam and Shadow Ball added to his move pool. Claydol, already a very interesting Pokemon, currently has Extrasensory, Confusion and Mud Slap as fast moves, and Earthquake, Earth Power, Gyro Ball, Psychic as his charge moves. Ice Beam and Shadow Ball will be added. You know, Claydol has never really seen much use in Go Battle League, but it's seen a lot of play in Sylph. It's always been a very solid Pokemon. You know, its stats are amazing, but its typing is kind of lackluster sometimes. But, you know, its main issue was always Azumarill, and with Azumarill nerfed, Claydol might see a bit of a rise, but still, its coverage isn't the best. Though, I think it has a very niche use in Great League, in that it can beat flyers with Ice Beam and also the tanks. You know, getting flyer tank coverage is usually quite hard, but Claydol can pull it off. With this moveset of Extrasensory, Earth Power, Ice Beam, you know, it has a very interesting coverage. It can beat Belmetal, Bastiodon, Galvantula, you know, basically the tanks, also the fighters. But it can also beat Altaria, Tropius, Marowak. You know, it struggles against Skarmory, unfortunately, but it can deal with a bit of the fighters, so I think it's a very interesting Pokemon. You know, previously, Azumarill was one of the only Pokemon that could deal with fighters, flyers, and tanks. That was Azumarill's main job. That's why Azumarill was so big. It's one of the only Pokemon that does that job well. But now we also have Claydol, which can kinda do it. So, whilst I don't think this Pokemon will get a lot of use in Go Battle League, I think for future Sylph Cups, Claydol is gonna be even better. Alright, I think this is a great addition to his move pool. Porygon 2 will now have a Tri-Attack, which honestly doesn't do much for Porygon 2. It still remains kind of a meme with only 10 wins still in the Great League meta, which is, you know, it's alright. What does it win actually? What does it win? Yeah, this is all bait dependent. I gave it Tri-Attack and Zap Cannon. Besides that, it has Hyper Beam, Solar Beam too. You know, I think if you want to meme a little bit, beam some people, Tri-Attack is a solid addition, but it won't really change the meta that much. Last addition, Mud Shot on Excadrill. Excadrill previously had Mud Slap, Metal Claw as fast moves, and then a Drill Run, Rock Slide, Earthquake and Iron Head as its charge moves. So having a quicker energy gain fast move to support Drill Run and Rock Slide, which are both really good moves, it's very good addition to Excadrill, I feel like. Thing is, it's very glassy, so in Great and in Ultra League, it won't really see much play still. It's basically a budget Stunfisk. But, you know, for Master League, it is pretty nice. You know, it still beats, can still beat Dialga, it beats the Steel types. In Premier, it can beat Metagross and Magnezone, beats Stoichus now, which previously with Mud Slap it struggled with, beats Dragonite. Thing is, Rock Slide's getting nerfed, and as you can see, it already loses 2 shields, and the 1 shield is very close. I think with a Rock Slide nerf, it might not beat Dragonite in a 1 shield anymore, which is very unfortunate. Maybe if we make both level 50, I mean, that's not really possible right now for most people, but well, it's, you know, it does win the 2 shield with level 50, but with the Rock Slide nerf, probably won't anymore. This match was so close, but it will probably still beat Dragonite in the 1s. Seeing as, yeah, the second Rock Slide does 106, but it only has to do 51. So yeah, Excadrill will definitely still beat Dragonite in the 1 shield, even with Rock Slide nerf, which is way better than what it used to do with Mud Slap. I'm pretty sure. Don't think it beat Dragonite in the 1 shield. No, it didn't beat Dragonite at all. So Mud Shot definitely a big upgrade for Excadrill. Will it be enough? It kind of depends on the Rock Slide nerf. If it's too big and it can't beat Dragonite anymore, then probably not. If it still beats Dragonite, I think it's a good buff to Excadrill for sure. So this week, actually, there's still a lot of boosted Drillbur spawns, so I suggest you grind some Drillburs to get the Excel Candy for level 50, because it might be worth it. Alright, so that's it. We looked over everything. Biggest winners in this moveset update, I think definitely Polytote, definitely Alolan Ninetales, Claydol as well in Sylph Cups, but I won't see that much use in Go Battle League. Besides that, biggest losers, of course, Razor Leaf Bubble, but it all depends on the size of the nerf, of course. As I said, Razor Leaf will need to be nerfed quite a bit in order to make it less oppressive in Great League, so we'll just keep the hype a bit down for that. Maybe we'll see how much it gets nerfed on January 11th, and I'll post an update on this video like a day after the move stats are known. If there's anything I missed, let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good day.